everybody. I'm Larry Ridley. Welcome to the NFL on EA Sports. We've got a good one on tap today, and there's going to be two quarterbacks ready to get it done on the gridiron. It's Wilson Seahawks going up against Smith's Chiefs. With that, let's get out to Arrowhead. Here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Larry, from one of the loudest venues in the NFL, there's a look at Arrowhead Stadium here in Kansas City. Coming up, we've got a good matchup on tap between the Seattle Seahawks and the Kansas City Chiefs. Here's Cairo Santos now, ready to get this one started. And into a sea of red, we're underway in Kansas City. To return, this is Doug Baldwin. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. Carry for Thomas Rawls. And a short pickup there as he'll take this up to right around the 20. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. And this offense often hinges on one of the best tight ends in the league, and that's Jimmy Graham.
I think he made up for lost time when he got to the NFL because in college he was mainly a basketball player, a defender who couldn't score. Now he's flipped it around in the NFL. Every time he touches the ball, he's a threat to score.
Wilson now off the bootleg. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Jimmy Graham, the intended receiver. And that's going to lead to a 3rd down. And let's take a look at the defensive starters for Kansas City.
Dontari Poe emerged on the scene fast as a young player and continues to make big plays at defensive tackle.
They go play fake to Michael. Now Wilson. They're able to locate Wilson. And he gets it to the 32. Good enough for a 1st down.
And that catch there by Luke Wilson goes for a 1st down, and he's really developed and come on. Now, remember, Jimmy Graham, who was expected to be the key tight end for Russell Wilson, he was hurt most of 2015. Luke Wilson really jumped his game up.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack.
Okay, I'm not sure you could actually draw up a better pass rush than that one right there. Nowhere to go outside. He had to keep backing up and backing up and backing up. Eventually dropped for a huge loss.
On 2nd down, here's Wilson. And the catch is made here by Tyler Lockett. And Chiefs fans elated to have Eric Berry back in the fold. Signed his franchise tender, and his coach Andy Reid said he's in great shape.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. This is a guy who battled back from lymphoma and was the NFL Comeback Player of the Year in 2015, in addition to being a Pro Bowler. He keeps himself in incredible condition. He will play in the opener. And by the way, you know what else he does for relaxation in the offseason?
I hear he likes video games.
Yes, he does. He plays Madden and won the Madden Bowl last year. I don't care how many times you tell the story, it never loses its luster for me. Doug Baldwin, undrafted out of Stanford, and plays like a #1 receiver should in the NFL. I don't care how you cover him. I don't care that his size isn't great. He's the one that typically comes up with the football.
Absolutely. His roots go all the way back to Gulf Breeze, Florida, where he's from, right on the water near Pensacola. And then, of course, to Stanford. And, boy, he's been good. Offense still needing 10 yards. 2nd down. Wilson again to Rawls. And he takes it across midfield to the 45. 9 yards on the pickup there as he'll be left with 3rd and 1.
This drive is turning into an extended one, and the guy carrying the ball, he's becoming more like a body blows guy. Every carry is putting some damage on the defense. So after a while, I'm not too sure how many guys are going to want to run up and tackle him.
And this will be play number 8 of the opening drive. It's 3rd and short. They run with a power back. Rawls. They'll be marked inches short. No gain on the play, and that's going to lead them to 4th down.
On every snap, a defense is trying to establish who they are, but on 3rd and short, that's really when you put it out there and tell people who you are, and that's exactly what they did. For the offense, they're looking at their offensive line and saying, guys, where are you? We need you on those plays.
And look at this. They're keeping the punter on the sideline. They're going to go for it here on the opening drive. They'll run for it. Rawls. And he is going to lose yardage here. Thomas Rawls unable to push his way forward for the first. And this crowd loves it as their guys hold on the opening drive. They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side. Now Smith, a dump off for Charles. Oh, he faked it with a juke. Now he's got some room. And all the way in for a Kansas City touchdown. Jamal Charles, 52 yards. And the Chiefs are going to take a first-quarter lead. Well, he's used to running it that distance. Here he had to catch it, too, before making the run. Heck of a play for the score.
There's not many things better for an offense than a back who is a complete guy who can run it and catch it. And we just saw him complete a big-time play for a touchdown.
That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he had taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. As Seattle now ready to march out of the field. And last time out, went for it on 4th down, turned it over, gave him great field position, turned it to 6 points, so they've got to recover here, Charles.
It's amazing what one decision can do in the chain of events, right? The decision to go for it on 4th down.
Caused all of that.
It caused every bit of it, but it showed confidence. Hey,
down the numbers. There he goes. And all the way in, touchdown Seattle. Jermaine Kearse, 78 yards. And the Seahawks just an extra point away from tying this thing up. It took them a while to get their speedster involved, but they found him downfield there.
And what we've discovered as we've watched games is the speedster doesn't have to have a lot of catches, doesn't have to have volume in order to have a huge impact on the game. His speed scares the heck out of defenses, and other guys can capitalize, but when you finally hit him and he carries it all the way into the end zone, that's what you're paying him for. That big threat that can make big plays on a limited number of catches.
That's how you step on the stage with your first catch, take it to the house. And now here comes Kansas City. And following that long touchdown pass, a one-play drive last time, we'll see if the defense, you know they're ready. They don't want that to happen again.
And you would have thought they would have been ready the last time. That's what you work on all the time. Make sure that no one gets behind you. That's the cardinal sin of defense, not giving up the long pass. They did. Let's see how they adjust.
Over the middle here to Wilson. And he's brought down after a good game. Give him 27 yards that time. Good enough for a Kansas City first down. Charles the low setback. Back to throw, Smith. And that's caught inside the 30. And he'll be taken down, but not before getting this inside the 30. Well, we know he's got the speed there. He needed the speed and the hands. A great catch.
And because of that speed, you have to respect it as a defender. So you have to either play off or make sure you're somehow in contact with him. And he's able to do exactly what you said. Use the speed to his advantage and go up and get the football. That's a big-time play right there.
Here we go with Jamal Charles. And nowhere to run on the interior of that defensive line. He'll get back only to the line of scrimmage.
A one-yard gain can look like a disaster, but it all depends on how the game is going. Is it a series of one-yard gains running the ball? If that's the case, you might have to start thinking about throwing it a little bit more. But if it's just the occasional one-yard run, hey, congratulations to the defense. They won that one. Come back and get them the next time.
Back now with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. As the Chiefs in possession of the football as we begin the second quarter. They're on the march, but facing a third down here. Throwing on third down, Smith. And Wilson has it. And he takes it down to the 13 and picks up the first. Give him 12 yards on that one. It earns him a fresh set of downs.
And those first downs do add up. The offense keeps the ball moving downfield and keeps their defense on the bench, giving them a chance to rest.
And now inside the red zone, the offense will operate. They go back to the ground now with Charles. And strong running there as he's inside the 10 and down to the 8-yard line. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5. Here's Smith now on 2nd down. That's going to be caught at the 10-yard line. And he takes this into the end zone for a Chiefs touchdown. Jamal Charles, 2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far. And the Chiefs add on to their lead. So they've had 2 drives, and he's had the 2 receiving touchdowns.
And how about a game plan where you decide to force feed or feature someone, and it works? First 2 drives, as you noted, end up in touchdown passes. I think they're going to keep going to him until the defense makes any kind of an adjustment.
And in hindsight, probably should have stayed where he was, as he'll only get back to the 16-yard line. The Seattle now ready to march onto the field. And last time the formula was pretty simple. 1-play drive, long pass. That maybe they just want to do that again, right?
And that's exactly how you want to draw things up. Whether it's on your grease board, right, in your playbook, 1-play drive is exactly what you want on offense. What they have to be careful of is not having a letdown. It was really easy last time. They can't expect that going forward.
Yeah, we'll see if it's that easy here. Well, Charles, last week we did some fantasy draft talk, and we've got more drafts coming up this week. The Madden draft on September 1st that I'm in, so give me a few names. Who's poised for a breakout?
I can't wait to follow this throughout the year and see how you're doing.
You're going to laugh at me.
You know you've gone into the Shark Tank here. All right, some big-time players, but what little bit I know about it, I know you've got to start with a runner, right? Is it a Todd Gurley? Is it a Ezekiel Elliott? Is it an Adrian Peterson? I keep hearing Antonio Brown from the Pittsburgh Steelers may be the #1 pick for everyone
and
all throughout fantasy world.
Odell Beckham up toward the top as well.
Oh, without a doubt. And I'm telling you something. I'm going to give you one. I'm going to give you my sleeper on that. Jordy Nelson with the Green Bay Packers. He is back. He's ready to go. And Aaron Rodgers is motivated this year. I think that there'll be a big-time connection.
On third down, Wilson. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by the Pro Bowler, Marcus Peters. And they are going to take over right there at the 22-yard line. And now here comes Kansas City. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
To throw is Smith, eluding the pressure right. And he will go down outside of the pocket for a sack. Tried to get away, but could not. And a play like that, with how far he had to go to make that sack, shows how athletic defensive ends have become in the NFL.
And not just athletic. This is coached in a big way. Run to the football at all times. How about him never giving up on it and pursuing all the way across the field?
On second down, Jamal Charles. And he'll get it down inside the 20 to the 18-yard line. It's a 7-yard pickup. They'll be looking now at a 3rd and 6.
But you got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball, because they were in a 2nd and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to 3rd and manageable with that run.
They haven't made much of this great starting field position they had. Here's 3rd and 6. Now flags will come in. I think this one's going to be on the defense for jumping. following the penalty. Here's Charles. And he lost the football. Charles loses it.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. Now it's Smith. Flushed out right. And that is caught. Touchdown, Kansas City. Jeremy Maclin, a 7-yard touchdown grab. And the Chiefs are able to grow their lead. And, partner, they found a gap there on the post pattern, and it was in the middle third of the field.
And that's really difficult to do because ordinarily the safeties are back there to prevent that happening. But they found the opening and exploited it.
That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. Here come the Seahawks now, set to take over on offense. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. A good pick up there, 26 yards. So the offense has it 1st and 10. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. We're back to Arrowhead after this. First down, this is Rawls. And he'll fight his way forward to about the 48-yard line. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held him to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
On 2nd down, here's Wilson. And that's incomplete. He was looking for Thomas Rawls there. And that'll lead here to a 3rd down. So a 3rd and 8. They come out here in the eye. Now it's Wilson. And that is incomplete. Tyler Lockett was the target there. And that's going to bring up a 4th down. Well, they've had a pretty frustrating first half here offensively, and then just continued there with that incompletion.
Yeah, definitely frustrating for them, but heartening for the other guys. Those stop troops, they're enjoying things right now because they've made it very difficult for them throughout the half.
So on 4th down, as seen on TV, here's their resident strongman, John Ryan, on to punt. Back deep for Kansas City, DeAnthony Thomas. And problems spreading to the punt team now. This one goes all the way into the end zone on the fly, so that'll come back to the 20. And now here comes Kansas City. And they were able to punch it in the end zone last time. They'll be looking to do that again here for the defense. Obviously, they'll be looking to stop them from punching it back in the end zone.
It always is punch-counter-punch, isn't it? And which team has the advantage? Well, let's just go back. Last time on offense, they rolled downfield, got into a good rhythm. You can see a little more bounce in and out of the huddle. You can see the sideline really get into the game. So defensively, you're thinking to yourself, how do we take that away from them? How do we get the advantage back? Let's see what they come up with. I think pressure is always the first way to go.
You love pressure.
I love it.
We'll see if they dial it up this drive. So incomplete on first. Let's see what 2nd down has in store. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's brought down. He got 18 yards out of that one, and it gets him a new set of downs. And they're going to speed things up here.
Absolutely love the run right there. This guy's known for his quickness, but also for his speed. He's able to get to the 2nd level almost before you blink.
And now the Seahawks are going to take a timeout here on defense. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime.
I got 87, that's speed, boy.
Kelsey out in the slot right. On second down, here's Smith. Quick slant, that's caught by the veteran Macklin. And they're able to get this one down to the 25. A big play that time on the catch and run. 38 yards.
Terrific catch there by Jeremy Macklin. Harkens back to his days as a Missouri Tiger, but they used him almost like a wingback. You know, he would catch passes, they'd hand it to him on running plays. You can see that great ability once the ball's in his hands.
Yeah, so great in space, and a two-time All-American back in those days as a Tiger at Missouri. They'll keep it on the ground with Charles again. And they'll get him down right about the 20. Call it a gain of a couple, and that's going to leave him with a third and about 5. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime.
Hey, move 45. Move 45. 3.
From the gun on third down, Smith out to the right here to Wilson. Nothing doing on that one, and it'll be 4th down.
That goes in the category of a play that the defense is going to cherish and excites them. A completion, yes, you give up the pass, but no gain. I mean, that's exactly what you want on defense.
And sets up the 4th down. It's a little bit of time left here in the second quarter, but they get the field goal near the end of the first half to expand that lead.
Yeah, that's got to feel good, but they can't let up. Now on the kickoff, they've got to make sure they don't give up a big return or big yardage to set up the other team for one last chance to score themselves.
The Seattle now ready to march onto the field. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
On 1st and 10, it's Wilson. That'll be incomplete as the clock will stop with 14 seconds remaining. Second and 10 now, Wilson. Dancing to his left. And he will not make it back to the line of scrimmage as he's going to be taken down. Jay Howard in there to drop him for a loss on the play. So a ways to go here on 3rd and 10. Another pistol look here. On 3rd down, Wilson. He finds his man, Baldwin. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. And unless this is a quick incompletion, this is likely the last play here of this first half. Final play of the half. It's Wilson. He's going to launch this thing way downfield. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. We have hit halftime. Still 2 more quarters to go. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back after this. You're watching the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. It's in the game. So both teams have their marching orders, and we'll get going again here in quarter number 3. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. City touchdown. Niall Davis with officially a 103-yard return. And the Chiefs add on to their lead. And you've used the phrase with me before, pressing the kicking game. What exactly does that mean? Because they did it there.
It means focusing on it, all aspects of it, because it's the third part of the game. Offense, defense, special teams. If you press the kicking game, create an advantage, make a big play, it often leads to victory.
And with a new rule, that decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he only gets to the 20. A look at the offense now here, coming back out on the road for their first possession of the second half. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never wanted to make something more important than it actually is.
And he'll be hit from behind and taken down. Alan Bailey in there to pick up his second sack now of the afternoon. Rawls, the lone man in the backfield. Now Wilson. And his throw's going to be incomplete. The intended target, Doug Baldwin. And they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here.
When you see passes knocked down by those guys I call the frustrated fullbacks, the linebackers, you know that in their zone coverage, they were able to drop, see the ball thrown, and react to it very quickly.
Incomplete pass on 2nd down. Let's see what the offense draws up here on 3rd. 3rd and long. It's Wilson. And he's going to go down right near the goal line. The officials look at each other. They're going to mark him at the 1-yard line. Here's John Ryan now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. He'll send this one into the Midwestern air, and it's a good one. Returnable for Thomas. Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And it's Chiefs football. 1st and 10. And now here comes Kansas City. They were able to get the ball back here, didn't surrender any points. Now they'll look to add to that lead.
How about the boost the defense gave them? Going right out on the field, shutting them down, not giving up any points, and turning the ball back over. They want to do their part now and show them a little respect and some gratitude by scoring some points.
And to get a little more cushion. 12 yards there as they move the chains.
I love when a play results in a game that I can actually kind of fall back on one of my favorite adages, and that is anytime there's a run over 10 yards, it means that the offensive line did its job, but you know who else did? The wide receiver. Because the first 7 yards...
And he loses the football a 2nd time. And his crew will take over at their own 45-yard line. The Seattle now ready to march out of the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. So, Charles, we got a quick breather here. Wanted to ask you, as we get to the end of preseason, cuts are happening fast.
Yeah.
These front offices, you've told me, they are watching closely to see if someone's cut, where can they add to their roster, right?
Exactly. It's similar to the draft where they have a ready list of players that they aren't sure are going to get drafted, but they really liked and want to sign as a priority free agent. They do the same thing during this time of year. They sit in meetings. Different scouts are assigned to different teams, and they've compiled a list of players they think fit their team. And if they get cut by those other teams, they want to be able to pounce and go get that guy to add him to their roster once the cuts are done.
Here's Wilson to throw. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by the safety here, Ron Parker. And he's able to get it back here to the 43-yard line. Now the Chiefs offensive unit ready to do battle again. And last time, the fumble, the turnover. Now they still have the lead, but I don't think coaches care. The turnovers will bother them no matter what the scoreboard says.
That's the relief, that you still have the lead. But coaches look at what if and what it should be. Turning the ball over when they've got a chance to score more points and increase the lead, that's what's going to affect them.
And they're also thinking to future weeks, maybe when the game's closer, right?
No doubt about it. You want to clean up everything. Let's just be honest about it. They want everything to be perfect at all times. They don't want to give up anything that's going to hurt their team.
Back to the air. Smith on 2nd down. And he's got a man on the crossing route. That's Macklin. And he will finally be taken out of bounds. A big play there. Smith to Macklin. 42 yards. So after that big play, let's see if they can catch their defense maybe on their heels. To throw is Smith. And now the ball's loose. Smith loses it.
On plays like this, when the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Offense with a fumble, but they recover it, and it brings up 2nd down. A shotgun snap for Smith. That's caught at the 2. And he will take it on in for a Chiefs touchdown.
2
Albert Wilson from 10 yards out. And the Chiefs just continue to pour it on.
Well, after another passing touchdown, I don't think it'd be an understatement to say that he's in the zone, and I believe he likes it.
Now, after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. The Seahawks offense now, they get ready to come back onto the field. And following the interception, we'll see what they can put together on this drive.
I can hear my old college coach right now. He always used to tell us before every game, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. What they're hoping is that last mistake is their only one of the game.
Coaches, that's all they talk about, turnovers, right?
Minimizing those and maximizing opportunities.
Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete. So while we have a moment here, Charles, intriguing matchups of Week 3 in the preseason. I know that you saw the Tennessee game. You thought that was pretty interesting.
It was, because Oakland's one of those teams we've talked about the entire offseason is making a playoff push. And having Derek Carr at quarterback gives them a leg up over Amari Cooper and the rest of the crew. And they didn't look bad on offense, but they didn't look as good overall as a team as maybe we expected. Conversely, Tennessee, who went to Oakland and beat them, not many people have hopes for the Tennessee Titans this year. But guess what? They look pretty darn good. And Marcus Mariota's made great strides in year 2.
After the interception, here's Smith. Over the middle here to Wilson. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. So an excellent throw and an excellent catch there.
Zone coverage, which means you just have to find the open areas in between defenders, is exactly what happened on that play.
Now a first down throw. It's Smith. Looking for his running back, and he's got him. And he showed off a nice juke of the defender before the next wave could bring him down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
To throw on second down is Smith. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Bobby Wagner in there to drop him, and it'll be a loss of about 8.
Force. Set. Move 45. Move 45. Under 45.
They come up in an empty set. 4 wide receivers, 1 tight end. And now the ball's loose. Smith loses it. And fortunately, he's able to get this one back, so it is a first down.
Well, that was a big oops right there. But how about his ability to correct it? Loses the football, able to get it back himself.
Yeah, pounced right back on it, keeps possession. Smith now to throw. That's caught at the 2. And he takes this into the end zone for a Chiefs touchdown. Travis Kelce from 3 yards out. And the Chiefs have got it on cruise control. Boy, it's nice to have that big, reliable target you can go to.
Each and every time. A lot of people see that position as a fallback. Throw it to them when all else fails. Not at all. This guy can make plays, and that's exactly what he just did.
Yeah, play here for a touchdown. Santos out now. He'll kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And in hindsight, probably should have stayed where he was, as he'll only get back to the 16-yard line. And the Seahawks get ready to trot out on the field. They start on the ground with Rawls. And he'll take this one up to about the 23. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
On second down, here's Wilson. It's caught outright by Graham. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains.
Looked like the screen pass was taken away there, but what a nice job improvising, finding other options, and completing the pass anyway.
Now it's Wilson trying to lay one up deep. And they went big on first down. Proves unfruitful.
One of the toughest things about playing defensive back is pattern reading, trying to figure out what they're doing. And on that one, they had the fly, just sending a guy downfield with the in route accompanying it, what people call a dagger route, trying to hit the guy underneath after the clear out. In this case, though, they're not able to get it done.
Yeah, they said forget the underneath route. They went for the guy on the fly, but as you said, incomplete. So 3rd and 2, and I count 6 defensive backs out there. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Jay Howard in there to record another sack, their 6th of the afternoon. A critical one here if they're going to have any shot at this thing. So they'll go for it on 4th down. Here we go. It's Wilson on 4th down. And this is incomplete. The Seahawks go for it but can't convert. And the Chiefs will have the football back in excellent field position. And now here comes Kansas City. And that last touchdown drive, a good mix of pass and run. Defensively, they just looked a little out of whack.
And it's so hard to stay up with an offense that has things going so well, where you're guessing and guessing wrong play after play. So what you need is someone on the defensive side of the ball to make a big play. Throw that balance out of whack. That's what you're looking for now. Not worrying so much about guessing what the play call is. They ran that one well, and not only did they pick up a nice chunk of yardage on the screen, they sent a message to the defense. Rush the passer all you want, but you better be careful. We can hit you going back the other direction.
On 1st down, it's Smith. Looking middle, and it's incomplete. The veteran Jeremy Maclin was the intended target, and that'll make it 2nd and 10.
All defenders get tired of hearing about their lack of hands and why they're playing defense instead of offense. But in this situation, it was the hands that made the play. Batting the ball away on an attempted touchdown pass. Excellent job. Way to knock it down.
He gets it to Thomas. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
Short of the sticks after that completion, and now it's 3rd down for this offense. Throwing on 3rd down, Smith. He'll be hit and taken down at the 21. Atama Rubin coming in to drop him for a loss of 8, and it'll be 4th down. And Santos able to put this one up and through. It's good, and they're sitting pretty now as the lead grows even further. So it's 3 more points, and that widens things out even further here in the 4th.
Hey, in this league, you can never have too much. So if you're in range, grab the 3 whenever you can.
And the decision to come out is going to cost him 5 yards with a new rule as he's taken down right at the 20-yard line. As Seattle now ready to march onto the field. And on that last drive, went for it on 4th, turned it over. A good job by their defense, though. They held them to 3, but this offense, they've got to be a little bit better, a little bit more careful here.
And sometimes when you see these calls on 4th down, when they decide to go for it, it's not necessarily...
And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Tamahali in there with pressure yet again, and that's the 7th time they've dropped him here this afternoon. And they'll try to squeeze in one more play here before the 2-minute warning. Time for a break. We'll come back and wrap up garbage time after this.
Strong left. Strong left. 19. 25.
On 2nd down, rolls. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Just a gain of a yard there, and now it'll be 3rd down.
Tough day. Tough sledding right there, and it's been that way the entire game. Not a whole lot of room to ramble for him.
Yeah, you're right. It's been that way all afternoon. Didn't get a whole lot better there. On third down, Wilson. He finds his man, Baldwin. And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. He goes for 18 there as the drive will continue.
I don't care how many times we see it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. First down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
So it'll be first down here after the run. On first and 10, it's Wilson. Complete outright to Kurtz. It's a pickup of 14 there, and the Seahawks are going to have a first down.
Well, coaches always talk about finding balance on offense. I don't think you get much more balance than this. Big-time run, big-time pass.
A 1-2 combination. Looked pretty good.
How about that? Let's see if they can continue to take that kind of a punch, though.
It's caught on the left side by Baldwin. It's a gain of 7, and it'll make it a second down.
When you decide to run a hitch route, it really helps to have a guy who can turn it loose. And, boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
Second down now after the pass completion. And they're going to go soft on the corners. Wilson, his throw caught right around the 6. A good pickup there, 26 yards. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. Offense walks to the line for play number 7 of the drive. Wilson will throw again. And incomplete. He dropped it in the end zone.
After all the preparation, all the practice, a play like that will absolutely break your heart. They had everything they wanted, just unable to complete it. In the end zone, a big-time drop.
Unable to connect on the first down pass play. Now it's second down. On the ground, rolls. And this will result in him losing yardage. Back to the 3. It's a loss of 2, now third down.
When you put together a formula for winning defense, it's exactly what we're seeing in this game. Controlling the line of scrimmage, attacking, and changing everything so that now they're playing in the offense's backfield. They're playing an excellent game.
From back at the 3 now, this is third and goal. On third and goal, Wilson. And this is caught. Well, they get one back. Picking up the late touchdown here, but still down big.
And yeah, that touchdown counts for their team. But I think it counts more for the fantasy guys, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's just something maybe positive to look at on film, but this one's over, let's be honest.
Yeah, I agree with you totally on that one.
And he's got it up and through. So despite the huge deficit, they're going to keep fighting. Here comes the onside kick. And the Chiefs are going to make the recovery. Now they're down big here in the 4th. They had to try the onside kick. Can't fault them for the effort at least.
No, you can't at all. And if nothing else, now you've put something that you're trying to practice, right, that you've worked on into a game situation, and now you can go back and dissect it. So if you need it again sometime, maybe you'll find a better way to do it. But, yeah, this game's pretty much done for them.
The first down carry here for Charles. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down.
And that's exactly what you want on a first down run. Pick up 5 yards, bring up 2nd and 5. The defensive line, though, they've got to figure out a way to out-leverage the guys up front because the offensive line is winning at the point of attack.
Well, Charles, I don't know what you want to call this, a blowout, a laugh, or whatever it is. This was not a game.
And I believe that you saw this coming early, identified it right in the beginning of the game, and it played out that way.
Well, and it did. And for this team, just a lot of confidence coming away from this one.
Confidence for them. For the other team, though, Boy, what a dismal, dismal day.